Have you ever gazed upon the jagged peaks of the highest mountains and wondered what giants once called them home? Have you ever looked at a common house cat, watching its silent, graceful movements, and felt a flicker of some ancient, forgotten power? The stories we tell, the myths we whisper, often hold a kernel of truth. Long before our time, the world was not as we know it. It was a world of fire and shadow, of tooth and claw, a world locked in a desperate struggle for the very sky. This is the story of that struggle, of how one age ended and another began. This is the story of why the dragons are no more. In the aeons that history has forgotten, it was the age of dragon. Their dominion was absolute, their power unchallenged. From craggy, cloud-piercing nests atop the world's highest mountains, they ruled as tyrants of the sky. Vast, leathery wings blotted out the sun, and the land below lived in constant fear of the fiery death that rained down from above. Their scales were like iron, their roars like thunder, and their breath was the very essence of destruction. They were the undisputed masters of the earth and air, and it was said their reign would last for eternity. But in the deepest, most hidden corners of the world, a new power was stirring, a challenge born not of brute force, but of impossible grace. Far from the scorched lands of the dragons, in a luminous forest where the trees dripped with starlight, a miracle unfolded. Here, in this secret sanctuary, the first winged cats were born. They were creatures of breathtaking beauty and lethal elegance, their fur as white as fresh snow, and their eyes gleaming with sharp intelligence. Where the dragons were monstrous and heavy, the cats were sleek and impossibly swift. They took to the skies not with thunderous power, but with a silent, acrobatic agility that seemed to defy the very laws of nature. They learned to dance on the wind, to carve through the air with the precision of a master's blade, preparing for the inevitable conflict that lay ahead. The Great War, when it finally erupted, was not a battle, but a storm of claws and fire that raged across the heavens. The dragons, arrogant in their might, expected a swift victory. They were met instead by a force unlike any they had ever encountered. Squadrons of winged felines, moving as one, became blurs of silver and white against the dark backdrop of dragon scales. They were too fast, too nimble. They flowed like water around clumsy bursts of dragon fire, swarming the colossal beasts in coordinated assaults. With synchronized dives and razor-sharp claws, they targeted the weak points in the dragon's ancient armor, the joints of their wings, the soft flesh of their underbellies. The sky became a canvas of chaos and courage as the age of brute strength was systematically dismantled by the age of supreme agility. The climax of this epic war was a duel fought in the heart of a raging tempest. High above the world, the Feline General, a magnificent warrior whose fur shone like polished silver, confronted the Dragon Overlord, a monster of shadow and flame whose size dwarfed mountains. The sky cracked with lightning as they clashed. The Overlord lunged, its cavernous jaws snapping shut on empty air, its fiery breath harmlessly scorching the clouds. The general was a phantom, a whisper on the wind, outmaneuvering every clumsy, furious attack. With a final, decisive surge, the cat became a streak of living light, exploiting a momentary opening and delivering a single, fatal strike to the beast's dark heart. A silence fell over the sky, broken only by the whistling wind. The great Dragon Overlord, the tyrant of an age, tumbled from the heavens, its fall shaking the very foundations of the earth. Witnessing the demise of their master, the remaining dragons lost all hope. Their roars of fury turned to cries of despair as they scattered to the far corners of the world, vanishing into myth and legend, never to be seen again. Victorious, the winged cats soared through the now peaceful skies, their silent reign beginning as the thunderous age of dragons came to a close. So the next time you see a cat leap effortlessly onto a high perch, Remember the story written in its bloodline. Remember the winged ancestors who fought for the sky, and know that you are looking at the inheritors of a world they saved, the conquerors of the last dragons.